are we making today?
Today we're gonna be making chilaquiles. Chilaquiles to me is Mexican comfort food. Chilaquiles, very simple. All it is corn tortillas, salsa, cheese, and egg. For the tortillas, you want them to be a nice thick corn tortilla. You know, these are kind of big in size, nice and thick. Having them thick like this is gonna give us a really good corn tortilla chip. So I have 10 corn tortillas for this recipe. Now for our salsa. Very, very simple salsa. I have salsas on my channel. I have a few out there, different variations. Now the only difference is what type of salsa you're gonna be putting on your chilaquiles. One, you're gonna need either red or green salsa. Today we're gonna be doing the red salsa. This is just a very simple salsa. Tasty, savory, and just a little bit of heat. So to start off, we're gonna need about 5 tomatoes. Now, if you have extra salsa, it's really good to keep in the refrigerator so that way when you're eating something else, you have it ready. 1 jalapeno. Now, depending on if you want it spicier, you can add more peppers to it, or you can actually use a different type of pepper. But jalapeno is kind of like the base for me when it comes to making salsas, because depending on what kind of season it is, it can be spicy. So I would only need 1. Right now, peppers are really hot during the summer, but not everybody likes heat. I can actually put a couple in there and add a little bit of kick to it. But you know, you kind of want to be mindful on the spice level. So depending on how hot you want it, it'll determine on what type of peppers you use and how many. We're also gonna need some chicken bouillon. This is 1 tablespoon. Now, if you don't have chicken bouillon or access to it, you should be able to get access to at least Knorr's chicken bouillon. It's kind of like just the base of adding flavor to our salsas. But if you have chicken broth, instead of adding water, you can use chicken broth instead. 2 teaspoons of oregano, a half of an onion, and some cilantro. And to finish off our salsa, all we need is just a couple garlic cloves. Now that's just the base of my salsas. I make salsas probably once every 2 weeks, and depending on what we're eating, you know, on a day-to-day basis, I might have to make a batch every week. Now for the 2 different types of cheeses, queso fresco is what I like to put in my chilaquiles. Now the other way of how I make chilaquiles is I add Monterey Jack cheese. And then finally, we're gonna need some eggs. So now we're gonna take our tomatoes, jalapenos, and onion, and we're going to put that in a pot of water. And we're gonna set this on high heat and get it boiling. So after boiling for about 15 minutes, we're gonna remove everything. You wanna make sure that your tomatoes and the jalapenos are soft. And be sure to take off the stem of the jalapeno. Add in our onion, and then along with the rest of our tomatoes. So now that we have the base of our salsa already cooked, you know, we got the jalapeno, the onion, and tomato. Now we're gonna add in the rest of our ingredients. Add in our 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon, our oregano, our garlic. Now, you can actually add the garlic in to cook with your salsa. The only difference is I like to add it raw. It adds more of a spicier salsa, but up to your preference. If you cook it, it'll be a little bit sweeter of a garlic. Now we're just gonna add in a bunch of cilantro in there. Add a little bit of water from what we use to cook our tomatoes and jalapeno. About a cup is what we want. Now let's blend this well. All right, let's taste for seasoning. Now the Knorr's chicken bouillon does add a little bit of sodium to it, but as always, season to taste. Actually, right there with that 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon, I think that's good. Now that our salsa is already taken care of, now we're gonna be preparing our tortillas to make tortilla chips. All we gotta do is just cut them, and you wanna make little triangles is what we're trying to do. You know, make them look like a chip. This little triangle thing is pretty much what we're looking for. For the next part, we have our corn tortilla chips all processed. We have them cut to the shapes that we want. Now in a large skillet, we're gonna add a little bit of oil. Actually, we're gonna need a little bit more than normal oil because we are frying these things, so we kind of need it a little deep. You want enough oil to be able to cover the whole bottom. So I'm gonna let this come to temperature, and then we'll start frying our tortillas. Now that our oil is up to temperature, we're gonna take our tortilla chips and lay them in there. You kind of want to spread these around. You don't want to overcrowd them because they will fry and get stuck to each other, and it'll allow it to actually cook a little faster if you have a little space in your pan. Now this is really quick. Literally just like about 30 seconds on each side is really all you need to get these chips nice and crispy. Go ahead and give it a flip. Now when it comes to chilaquiles, people have their preferences. Some people like a really hard tortilla chip. Some actually like them kind of crispy, but still kind of soft. So it's a preference thing. I know, like my wife, she likes the kind of little chewy tortilla chip, but you know, there's others where they actually use the fried tortilla chips that are extremely hard, and they just let the salsa soak into them. Once you have the crispiness that you're looking for, go ahead and remove. Now I'm going to finish out the rest of these tortillas. That way we can assemble our chilaquiles. And if you're looking for like a little appetizer or snack, you can actually use this recipe for chips and salsa. Now that we have all of our corn tortilla chips all fried up, now we're gonna fry up some eggs sunny side up. Now for the temperature on the eggs, I brought that down to about medium, low heat. I like to have my eggs nice and white, so that way it doesn't get real crispy. If you have it real high, then it's gonna be like a really fried, crispy egg. That's not what I'm going for here. Now this is really quick. Just take a little bit of the oil and put that on top, so that way the top of the egg can start getting cooked. That way we don't have to flip. All right, now that we have the top of the eggs cooked, add just a little bit of salt, a little bit of sea salt there. Now let's take them out. Let some of that oil drip. For the final stretch, take our tortilla chips that we just made, put it right back in your pan. Now let's take some of this delicious salsa that we just made. We're gonna drench it right all over our corn tortilla chips. Now just give it a toss. You wanna make sure that your tortillas are covered in all that salsa. That's where all our flavor's at, is that all that salsa. So you wanna make sure that you have a good coating of the salsa on there. I'll add just like about another scoop. Now, I do have salsa left over. There's nothing wrong with that. You can have this in your refrigerator, so that way you can enjoy it with some chips or a good taco night. Let me tell you guys, this smells delicious. So we're gonna get a nice, healthy scoop of our tortilla chips drenched in the salsa. I like my chilaquiles a little soupy, so I'll add a little bit of salsa just right there on top. Take a little bit of queso fresco and crumble that right there on top. Now to finish it off, our egg sunny side up. Now to add a little bit of color, we're gonna drop in just a little bit of cilantro. And that right there, folks, is chilaquiles. This is looking yummy. Now let me tell you, that salsa smells delicious, and I can already tell you that this is going to be a fantastic dish. So what I like to do is pop that egg yolk, let it just ooze out. That way we can get a little bit of creaminess. Cheers, y'all. Little crunch to it. Delicious, flavorful. A little bit of texture there, you know, from the crunch, but still gooey. You know, that salsa's making it nice and gooey. Delicious, delicious. Let me go in for another bite with a little bit of egg. Get some of that there. Hands down, just comfort food right there. Savory, delicious, just packed with flavor. If you're new to my channel, consider hitting the subscribe button. That way you see future videos just like this. As always, I'll leave the link in the video description and in the comment section, so that way you can go to my website, cookingwithkirby.com, to get the full printable recipe. Now I have these recipes, they're really good. You should try them out. Now y'all be beautiful and take care.